Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So I was going to do my top 5 favorite knives of 2021, but I couldn't decide on a few of them, so I just figured I'd do a category of my favorite top 3 budget knives and then my favorite top 3 over $100 knives. Honestly, that just made my decision a little bit easier. So we're going to dive right into the budget-friendly knives. And first off, we have the Petrified Fish Beluga. Now, this knife is really clean and simple. It is a budget-friendly knife coming in at $42, which is a really good deal. You have a front flipper style deployment, or that's the main deployment, but you have K110 steel, which I've been told is similar to D2, so you're getting a really good steel for the money. The ergos are really good due to that neutral handle design, and it really fills the hand very well since it's very wide as well. You have black G10 scales, a very deep carry pocket clip which is reversible, so it's really good for you lefties out there, and the action is just really smooth. When I got this new, it was a little on the stiff side, but now that it's broken in, it's just drop shut, and overall just a really excellent knife. And it does have a fuller that you can use to spidey flick very easily, I might add, and then with the thumb flick. So you have 3 ways of deployment, which is really cool. And yeah, I would highly recommend this knife. They sell out quick, which is understandable. You're getting a lot of knife for the price. So there is the Beluga by Petrified Fish. And then we're going to move on to the CRKT Pilar III. Now this is another one of my favorites since it is budget friendly, coming in at $50, which is a little strange that it's more than the Beluga, which you get a lot more knife. But anyways, still love this knife by one of my favorite knife designers, Jesper Voxnäs, and I believe this was something that the people wanted, was just a bigger pilar or a longer pilar, which was a great knife. And I think he did an excellent job designing this. Really good ergos, fits awesome in hand. Can really choke up on that blade with that front finger choil. So just fits like a glove, really snug. You have a deep carry pocket clip, which is non-reversible, but does function, does do its thing. It's a frame lock knife, which locks in very well. It's super smooth since it is riding on bearings. And that drop shot action is really good. Spidey flick it, thumb flick it. Comes with a black G10 scale, a brass backspacer, D2 steel. You also get really easy access to the frame lock, which is a plus. You have a little bit of texturing in there to get or bite down onto with your thumb. But awesome knife. I definitely would recommend this to somebody who's starting off and getting into the knife world. So awesome knife by CRKT. And then next up we have the Tauser K by KAISER. Just an awesome knife. I've only had this knife for about, I think, 3 weeks, maybe almost a month, and this thing is awesome. The action is insane. The drop shot action is just crazy smooth. I mean, just barely tilt it, and it goes. So I got to be careful when I push in that liner lock, but flies right out. It's riding on bearings. 154 cm steel, so you're getting really good steel for the blade. Excellent jimping. They put a little extra, which is a plus in my book, since my thumb can go out a little bit further. And then you have an interesting grip section here on the bottom, where your finger can actually get grip and keep you from slipping off onto the blade, which is really nice. You have red micarta scales, which are really well done. Just looks really good. And then you have a very unique, very deep carry pocket clip. You can actually adjust the deepness, I guess, or the depth of the pocket clip, so I can move, if you can see that other hole down there, I can actually move it a little bit further down, but I decided to move it up here since the pocket clip was kind of an issue when it was moved down. I could feel it in my palm, but since I moved it back, it fits perfectly. I don't even feel it. And the ergos on this knife are just amazing. they're always sold out, which is understandable, but an excellent knife. Highly recommend this one as well. And the materials that you're getting for the price is just, it's ridiculous. So just an awesome, awesome knife. You do have dual thumb studs for deployment, so you can spidey flick this one as well, and it just flies right out. But this is high up there in the budget knife section. Just awesome, awesome knife. And next up we have the Demco Knives at 20.5 or AD 20.5. Now there's a lot of controversy on this knife since the price is, it's a little up there, and the materials you're getting aren't that great. But since you're getting the shark lock, you're getting a very unique knife and unique style lock. So I think that's what makes it so great. This knife is super fidgety. I mean, you got thumb studs, you have a hole for deployment, and that shark lock is just, I wasn't expecting this knife to be so smooth and just excellent in hand. I think it's great. It's a little on the thin side, but that's not really an issue for me. Feels good. It fits the hand well. You can choke up on that front finger choil there, get some more pressure on those more serious cuts. I do like the texture on the scales. Feels good in hand. Very, very grippy. And you do have AUS 10A steel, which is, I think, is great. It's a great steel. But there are some people out there that would disagree, which is fine. To each their own. But I think this is just a great knife all around because uniqueness and just a solid lockup. Just a really, really strong knife for how small and thin it is. These also sell really quick when they're in stock, so that's really the only issue I have, is that they're never in stock, and I got lucky with getting one of these. So awesome knife. You have not a deep carry pocket clip, but deep enough, and you do get a reversible or left-handed pocket clip in the pouch, or that comes with the knife, so that's a really, really nice plus. So you lefties out there are not left out. So it's just great for righties or lefties, which is really, really cool. So that is the 20.5. And then next up we have the Benchmade Mini Adamas. Now this knife I drove all the way to Oregon just to get it. No, I'm just kidding, but I went to go see family earlier this year, and I figured since I was in Oregon, go up to Benchmade and pick up one of these guys, since the black scaled ones were always sold out online. So I figured if I go to the storefront, I could pick one up, and thank God they had these because didn't want to leave without it. Awesome knife, excellent ergos, feels really, really good. The full-size one is awesome too. Eventually I'm going to be getting that one, but the mini just fits perfectly in hand. Excellent ergos, awesome steel. This comes in crew wear, coated in a, I forgot the name of the coating, but I'll put that up on screen. Dual thumb studs for deployment. You have the Benchmade axis lock, which is awesome, and the pocket clip is deep carry and reversible. So another awesome knife for you lefties out there. And again, just feels, it's so comfortable. That's why I love this knife, and you can really bear down on that, put pressure, and get really, really good cuts with this knife. Comes with really, really nicely milled black G10 scales. I'm not really a big fan of the holes going through the scales, which is easily fixed since I make my own scales. I did have some G Carter scales on here, but I am selling them, so I took them off and I put the originals back on. But this knife definitely had to go into my top 6 knives of 2021 since it's just awesome. Super smooth, great action. Can't really say anything bad about it other than the holes in the scales, but that really has no effect on how it functions. So that is the Benchmade Mini Adamas. And then last but not least, this is the Berg Blades Mini Slim. Now this probably is my most favorite knife of the year, since it's personally a grail knife of mine. Ever since I saw the Berg Blades Slim, I always wanted one, and they were always sold out, and they were crazy expensive on the secondhand market. So when he did the drop this year, I jumped on it without even thinking. I picked one up real quick. It's a stubby knife, And I know it looks like it's not comfortable in hand, but surprisingly comfortable in hand. So you can kind of choke up on this little section up here and really get a solid grip and get those really good cuts. But in my hand, it's really comfortable. I have medium to large size hands, so it fits very well for the size. Just all around, I think it's a beautifully designed knife. You have that cleaver style blade or sheep's foot, whichever way you want to look at it, but just all titanium. You have titanium hardware, titanium pivot collars, titanium scales. You have a steel insert for the frame lock there, pocket clip, titanium, and the steel on this is 20 CV, I believe, so excellent steel. And oh, the backspacer is titanium as well. It's just anodized, that golden bronzy color with a nice stone wash on it, so hides those scratches. So you guys can see the use for me having it in pocket and doing its thing, and using it is, it's getting a little beat up. The action on it is really good. You can spidey flick it. Obviously there's only two ways of deployment, spidey flicking and then the thumb flick, but just awesome knife. And I'm probably gushing over this because it is one of my grill knives, but personally I think it's great. The jimping is done excellent. You get really good traction with your thumb, and it's not crazy sharp where it's gonna, you know, really eat up at your thumb. So like I said before, this is probably my favorite knife of the year, and maybe that's due because it's one of my grill knives, but honestly I think it's just a great knife, and I love it. It's small, it's pocketable, there's just not really much to complain about, other than you're not really getting a lot of knife for the price. This is a very expensive knife, but the tolerances, the quality is just, it's really good. So it's understandable. And that is the Mini Slim from Berg Blades. Just really cool knife. So there are my top 6 knives for 2021. It was an awesome year. You guys made it really awesome, since you guys are supporting me and helping me to stay motivated to create more content for you guys. And more than likely next year all these knives will be customized, or some form of custom touches to these, and I can promise you that. That's one thing I know I'm going to be doing. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a awesome new year. Take care of yourselves, be safe out there, and enjoy the time you have with your family and friends. And as always, I will see you guys. Let's see, which one do I want to do it with? We'll do the Tauser K. So as always, I will see you on the next one.